Pass left. Oh.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. So we're Pucking Around Podcast. This is episode 83, and we got a good show for you tonight. We are going to talk about the Atlantic Division, which I'm looking forward to. Although we don't have Montreal in tonight, we're talking about Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, and Ottawa. We have Montreal in. I think this was a poll that was done online. We're going to talk about that. Who starts and stays in the NHL for most of the season? We got 3 young players there. We're going to talk about no tax states. That's our main topic tonight. And we're going to try to decide if it's good or bad for the NHL. We'll give some results on a fan poll of the Would You Rather that was out there last week. And I'm going to do all that with my 3 co-hosts, Cam, Eric, and Alex. And that happens right now. I don't know where to go from here, though, because we did the intro.
It was just funny trying to get Alex set up to do this because he left and then he came back as the intro started. I don't know if you saw that. Trying to get him on here has just been an absolute wacko of an event. I don't even know what else to describe you. By the way, we subbed back in Montreal when we talk about the Atlantic tonight, Rick. We did.
No, we didn't, because you told me to unsub it, but let's put it back in. That's fine.
It's back in.
Because they should be there, because that's the order. Ottawa finished ahead of them, and Montreal should.
I'm going to discipline you.
Dad, please stop arguing.
Yes, what we're talking about is I wasn't supposed to be here on Monday when we were supposed to record this, but we're recording this on Wednesday, and I'm here. So we had a little change in the what's the word for that? Not agenda, in the topics.
I'm revoking your
arguing about that. Okay, we're just being children. Let's talk about the.
Who's me and Eric have been quiet as mice.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you don't act like children.
You quiet as mice is something. Holy cow. I need to get that on record. Can we clip that? Alex said he's as quiet as a mouse.
What's the time? I'll clip that. What time are we at? Why can't I see the time?
We're at 2 minutes. We're not even 5 minutes into this thing, and we're already in complete disarray. Oh my God.
Let's get into the first topic. How's that? How about we do that?
Yeah, you want to start with the Atlantic?
So we've been doing the Atlantic Division. No, the divisions every week. This is the last one.
Yep, last division.
This isn't the last week, but it's the last division.
Right. So we're ending just before the season starts. The Atlantic Division. We'll talk about what's going on, what we think where they'll finish, that kind of stuff. And we're going to start with Boston, because they were on the bottom. And since Cam is a Boston Bruins fan, and check out his podcast, High Bruin Nation, right here on Don't Pug with Media. And what do you think is going on with Boston?
That must have warmed your ever-loving heart to say
what?
Boston
they were on the bottom?
Yep.
Yes.
Say it a couple more times. Get it out of your system.
Yes, Boston's on the bottom, and they're going to finish on the bottom again. So, yes, I'm very happy to say that.
All right. Wow. Bunch of petty Canadians fan over there.
We're not petty. We're polite.
He's not wrong. You guys aren't going to get me bottom.
No, I hate you because of what your GM has done. No, I mean, Boston, look, their goaltending and their defense is fine. That's not where their issue is. Their offense has way too many questions. If you look at what Don Sweeney did in the offseason, he acquired a bunch of bottom 6 guys. The only arguable acquisition that he made that could be a middle sixer is Victor Arvidsson. I would say Tanner Jeannot, but I don't think he has the capacity to become what he was a few years ago.
Top 6? That adds. Did you just mention Tanner Jeannot in top 6?
That's the only potential that I could see if he could ever return to a form where he was a long time ago, but it is unlikely, beyond unlikely.
Was he ever top 6? What are you talking about? Really?
Yeah. That year he had a 40-goal season. Yeah.
Middle 6.
Tell that to a co-host, Whitey, who thinks he's going to put up 22 goals this season.
Well, look, I think Whitey's nuts for suggesting that he's going to score 20 goals. I don't think he's going to score 20 fucking points.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
But but it doesn't matter to me. It's going to be an interesting year for Boston. I actually don't have them finishing in 8th. I actually have them finishing in 7th. I mean, it is Marco Sturm's first year, so you kind of have to imagine there's going to be some growing pains. And I've been watching the preseason. I'm going to go way more in depth in this, like, in the next episode of Hibernation about what I've thought so far of the Bruins preseason. But you can definitely see that there's growing pains and going into a hybrid system that he's fostering. But I still think they're better than at least one other team in the Atlantic, whether that be Buffalo or Detroit.
Detroit.
And it's probably Detroit. Yeah, I won't lie to you. But honestly, the 6, 7, and 8 in the Atlantic Division is very difficult to predict because those 3 teams, they all have things working against them, I think, in my opinion. But I think Boston finishes at very, very best 6th. But I think they end up finishing 7th. I think the defense and the goaltending alone will get them there. I think they're going to have struggles with the offense, and I expect trades at the trade deadline. I actually think that Pavel Zacha is not going to be a Bruin at the end of the year. I don't think so. I think he's going to be a primary trade target at the trade deadline for several people, either looking for a center or a left wing. I have Montreal on my list, Carolina on my list. I have
How
Toronto.
long does he have left on his deal?
It's a 1-year deal.
So that's, yeah,
4.5.
then Montreal could be a possibility for the playoffs.
4.5 million.
Zacha has 2 more years.
Nope.
Even 2, as long as it's not more
next.
than 2, this year and next year, Montreal would
year.
probably be interested at the deadline if they're in a good playoff spot.
Zacha, literally, this is his last year. I don't know where you're seeing that. It's his.
I'm looking at Puckpedia right now. This year and next year, 25, 26, and 26, 27.
Oh, I thought he was up 25, 26. I thought it was a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
1 more year after
I
this.
actually thought it was 2 years as well because I had Zacha earlier in the offseason for a video.
Did they extend him? Because I don't recall him. I thought his contract was up. I wonder if there's a mistake, but I don't know. I don't know.
I thought they extended him last year.
They extended him 2 years ago in 23-24. He got a 4-year, $19 million contract, 4.75.
Yeah, look at that right now. Yep.
Yeah, but if you're looking at that value at his contract value, it doesn't matter. Boston won't retain any of it because it's so cheap. And
yeah, that's not a
Yeah, no, it's not a bad deal.
That's why I think Montreal could be interested because the money and the term, and if for a playoff run, acquiring him at the deadline, I could see that being a possibility. There's talk about there was talk just like the last couple of weeks, possibly Montreal being interested in Zacha. It didn't turn out into anything, but there was. I did something. I forget what video I talked about it.
You're not going to see Zacha move before the trade deadline. I don't think he's going to be a trade deadline guy. They're good. I mean, Don Sweeney seems compelled to see where the hell this team is going to go, and he's going to wait it out till the very last second. I could also see Arvidsson waiving his NMC to go to a cup contender. I could see Asimont moving. I could see Corrali moving. I could see a lot of Bruins that aren't going to be here. And it's just because we're so super saturated at center with what's coming with James Higgins, William Moore, Matthew Poitras, Fraser Mitten. We're super saturated at that position, and I think we need more desperately at the wing. But that's going to remain to be seen. But one thing for sure, I do not think Zacha is going to be a Bruin at the end of this year. And I think they're going to finish 7th. At best 6th, but I think the goaltending is there, and I think the defense is there.
I think the Bruins' issues really stem just from the second line down. I think you have a lot of guys in a position they should not be in. Morgan Geekie had a great year. I want it last year, absolutely. I want to see if he can replicate that. You already know my feelings on Elias Lindholm. I think that's one of the worst contracts in hockey. I stand by that until proven otherwise. I think Casey Middlestad is going to be playing on the second line where he's more of a third line guy, or Pavel Zacha. You can argue either one of them. Victor Arvidsson's another deadline possible candidate. And then I look at their bottom 6, and it's just a bunch of what the fuck am I looking at? I'm not going to lie. Blumel, I don't know who the hell that is. Eastmont, I don't know too much about him. I know the other Russian kid there, Marat.
Kuznetsov.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kuznetsov. I know you acquired
him.
him last year. He's a really fast skater from what I've read. Good, very shifty around the ice, so he could be at least, a future third line guy realistically. I think the Bruins core is decent. Will Hampus Lindholm come back to the play he was prior to his injuries? He's had some injury issues the last 2 years now. Charlie McAvoy is still arguably a top 10 defenseman in hockey. There's no issue there. Mason Lowry had a nice year last year as an offensive defenseman. Can Zadorov stay out of the fucking box? Enough said. The big issue is Swayman going to find the form he was 2 years ago, or is he going to continue to trip over himself?
See, a lot of people actually disagree with that with you, is that they actually are expecting Swayman to have a monster year.
Monster, I think, is excessive. I mean, he should have a better year.
I don't know.
At least a bounce back.
If you read a lot about what people are saying, it's that, like, he won gold, dude, this past summer. He looks good.
I want to see him do that in the regular season.
So I don't think
the
issue
be better. You can't be much worse than what he was last year for his standards.
If you were to poll people, they would say the biggest concerns with Boston is their offensive scoring. It has nothing.
No one's not arguing that.
Yeah, it's not. They don't. No one thinks there's an issue at goaltending. No one thinks there's an issue at defense. If you were to poll Boston fans or anything like that, a lot of people will. It'll be like 95% of people will say it's with the offense.
Number one issue is definitely your forward court. There's no debating that. But I still wouldn't look the other way when it comes to goaltending. It doesn't mean that they're instantly going to be back to the way they were 2 years ago. I mean, I'm not saying that Swayman's going to replicate what he did last year. Unlike last year, he's going to be there for training camp now. He should be able to get into hockey shape at the same rate that everyone else does. But will he be what he was 2 years ago? That's what I'm asking. It could be remember what he was 2 years ago, he was sharing a net with Linus Ullmark. Now he's the guy. He's going to be looked at as the guy. So is he going to be able to prove that he can play 50, 55 games as a starting caliber goalie without showing that type of drop-off? That's the main question.
I mean, there's also other stuff. So people have speculated that the Boston Bruins forward depth isn't that great, but watching through 2 games of the preseason, again, I'll go much more in depth with this and hibernation, but the third line of Minton, Lysell, and they've rotated out Asimont and Jeannot. They actually have been arguably the most consistent line through preseason thus far. For Boston anyway. I'm not saying for any other team. So I'm curious to see how else they carry out through the rest of the preseason, and if they decide to keep that third line together, because it seems like Minton and Lysell are gelling very well together. I mean, I hate when people bring up points in preseason. While that is nice, sometimes the puck just finds its way to the net. Like last night, Marat, who's Nadinov, scored a goal. He planted his body right in front of the net, tied the game. Yep, not really hard to do if a puck gets there. Sorry, I'm not going to give you much credit there. I look for other things for consistency, but I don't know. I would say second line and fourth line could be potential issues for Boston. Third line might be somewhat of a saving grace, but again, I have them at 7th. I'm not going to turn this into a show about the Boston Bruins. So,
it's
but
turning into one. All right, I'm going to make it very easy because you said it's difficult to do. It's not difficult. Boston's going to finish in 8th. Very simple. You know why? Because I recognize a team that needs a rebuild or needs something, and they're going to have to do it at some point. And patching that team up here and there with whatever the GM is doing isn't going to work. So unless they make a commitment to doing something and going and doing that, I don't know.
You do realize the Buffalo Sabres are still in the Atlantic.
Swayman, you got McAvoy. These are quality players, and it's tough to do a rebuild when you got that. But this team's not going anywhere. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. I'm done.
Well, see, for me, Boston is actually an interesting team this year because, like you've all said, right? You have Jeremy Swayman, and I think honestly, he will have a bounce back year. I think just last year, everything that happened with the contracts and everything in public with the owner and Cam Neely and everything, I think it really affected him and the team in general. And look, and they had 2 massive injuries on their back end with McAvoy and then Lindholm. So I feel like, look, the offense is not there. I'm sorry, like right now, the offense is not there. You have David Pastrnak and and that's about it. Now you have a bunch of like decent pieces, but that's about it. The only way I can see Boston even contending for a playoff spot, because I like their defense, and like I said, I think Swayman's going to bounce back. They have to figure out ways to win games 2-1. It's the only way they could do it. Like they have a guy like Lindholm who, like Alex said, honestly, myself too, and I actually wrote an article about this on our website. Check it out, don'tbuckwithmedia.com, about the worst, what I think are the worst contracts in the league, and I thought Elias Lindholm was one of them also. But at the end of the day, he's still a pretty good defensive forward. So I think if Boston wants any chance at a playoff spot, that's it. They have to really lock it down every game and try to win those games 2-1. Because also at the same time, right, like Cam said, they have Higgins coming. So that's a big piece. If he could hit his potential, like if Boston could just, like, this year, let's say they are a bad team, I don't think they need to go into a total rebuild, because like they have some young pieces on defense. McAvoy's not that old. Lindholm is a little on the older side. Swayman's young. Pasternak is getting there a bit in age, but he's not washed. You know, he's not at the age where he's gonna be like he's gonna fall off a cliff in like a year or two. So I think with the pieces that they actually have coming, and like one more bad year for Boston would actually be a good thing. I don't know if that's in the cards for them, but like I said, I think the only way they could actually do anything is they got to play lockdown hockey this year. But at the same time, will they do it? Probably not. And I think I agree with you guys. I think, well, at least Cam, I think they're going to finish 7th.
Alex, where do you have them finishing? And then we'll move on to Buffalo.
Hold on a second, Eric. You said they have to win their games 2-1.
Yup.
Zoom in, please, for a moment.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, Claude Julien hockey is back.
Loser. So stupid. You're so
Claude
fucking
Julien
stupid.
hockey is back. I
You're
can't
so
wait to
fucking
fall asleep in the
stupid.
third period
Oh my
watching the Bruins
God.
to try to protect a one-goal
Oh my
lead.
God, you just want to make me vomit.
Claude Julien hockey is back.
And then you'll only be trading for old veterans that he can count on.
Yeah, but you know, like I like the goal, like
When you
McAvoy
have
will.
the heart defensive back checking, baby, Claude Julien hockey is back.
No, I mean the offense will probably come from Pasternak, Geeky, Lindholm, your first line, and then probably McAvoy, Yoki Haru from the defensive side. A little bit of Hampus Lindholm and some of Mason Lohrei. But again, I feel like the rest of the line, yeah, no, 7th, because I think they're better than at least one other team in the Atlantic, and it's pretty evident which one I think it is. So I don't know.
I'm also going to put them 7th, and I'm going to also say this: aside from Pasternak and Geeky, there will not be another player on that roster that puts up at least 50 points this year.
How many points?
That's
You kind of
That's really bad.
Put up over 40.
50,
Lindholm is probably going to get 50 to 60.
I
I-
believe in Lindholm. You know
I
me.
think Alex is right there, because teams at that level, usually where they're at, that most they don't get even a player over 50 sometimes, and like even 47 points is your leader for the year. Now you got Pasta there, so obviously he's gonna,
Pasta will get his. We know that. He's a superstar.
But I agree with Alex. I don't think too many guys are gonna be over 47 points, is what I'll put it at. I don't think so.
No, I don't think many will, but I can say the top line
One,
will reach
two,
the top line will reach it.
Maybe one or two guys. Everybody else will be under. Watch and see.
Geeky and Pasternak. Listen, like I said, you know me on Lindholm. Elias Lindholm, that is.
Yeah, no, Elias Lindholm's not getting 60 points or 55 points. He's done for that.
So it's 3-1 in favor of 7th versus 8.
I'll put him 7.
I have them 7, yeah.
They'll be a big fat 6th worst in the league.
8, 1 point behind Detroit, just to burn your ass. How's that?
Okay. Let's
Get
talk
the
about.
tanks ready this year, Cam.
Dude, I'm fine with it. Like everyone's like doom and
best thing for them.
gloom.
No,
I'm
not.
like-
I've been through it for the last 3 years. You get through it.
I'm fine. Yeah, everyone's like, dude, the cup's back on, baby, or like the Boston Bruins need to be good every time. Like, dude, no, I understand that sports and teams, they go through cycles. So like, but if you do it appropriately, you can be right back in it within 2 to 3 years. So just take
Not
it while
where
you
you're
can.
at right
Now,
now.
wait a
It's gonna be
second.
longer than 2 to 3 years.
So listen, we have hold on, Alex.
don't think
I'll
so.
contest that. We have our goaltender, we have our star right wing, we have our star
you have
defenseman.
2 liable forwards.
The defense is solid.
And you
the-
have 2 liable forwards.
How old is Pasta?
He's like 29.
I just had it here.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: when you're ready to compete again, will Pasta still be in his prime?
Dude,
that's why I
freaking
was asking.
Kucherov is
That's
32
what-
years old and he's scoring
I didn't say
120
that.
points.
I said
No,
when
Yeah, but
you're ready to
I
compete,
understand
it
the
will not
point
be
you're
in 2
trying to
years.
make. It's invalid because 32 does not grant you a death sentence in
I
this
didn't
league.
say that you will be competing. You guys won't be competing when he's 32. That's what I hope you realize.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards what
Maybe,
Alex
maybe
is
not.
saying.
Who knows?
I kind of lean towards what Alex is saying, but if it's 2-3 years, then Pasta will still be young enough. But is it going to be 2-3 years where you guys are contending? I agree. I don't think so.
Listen, the
I can
Bruins,
see. I don't know.
that
I can see
prospect
Boston-
pool is better than it used to be. But you
I could
still
see
have
Boston
a
doing
lot
like an
more.
LA. I could see Boston doing like an LA, where literally it's gonna be like a couple years where they were just like really bad, and then like LA still had Drew Doughty, LA still had Kopitar, LA still had a couple guys. They added a couple young guys, made a couple free agents, and then they're back in the playoffs.
There's
Yeah.
one issue with your theory. They have Don Sweeney as a general manager.
That was good. That's what I
He
was waiting
hasn't,
for my
But
turn.
if you look at his record of what he's brought in, he built the 2023 team. He took them to the Stanley Cup final in 2019. Like his track record isn't as bad as people
I'm
make it
not
seem.
saying. I'm talking from a drafting perspective.
He had one
You
year in
guys, you need-
2015.
But you
That's
need
not
to
just
fill
the
your
point.
cupboard again and
Look
get
at the first round pick you had last year.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah, Dean Ledger. That's because the Flyers took Jet Luchenko, which is what the Bruins were looking at. That's been reported several times.
Well, then, so
No,
they
you
don't
remember
know
that came
better
prepared
backup
tonight?
than what
I'm ready
they-
to go toe to toe.
You thought Luchenko was going to drop to 25 2 years ago?
You said last year, you schmuck.
Yeah, last year, as in last year's draft. So that would be the 2024 draft. I'm talking, which would be in a 2-year cycle span. Not
Last
this
year's draft-
which would be last season.
No. Yeah, last year's draft, as in like 2024, which
It's
is
just a high
last
school
year.
kid.
Yeah, Luchenko was around that area.
No, Vancouver wanted him at 15.
Are we talking about Nesbitt? Who are we talking about right now?
Luchenko.
Luchenko.
Okay, but what is Luchenko up
They
to
were
with
they
Boston?
were looking at him.
I'm saying the Bruins made their panic pick at 25 because the Flyers got Luchenko at 12.
They were
13.
looking at him, or they were looking at to move up. So trust me, and like last year's draft was not the deepest. So I don't know what you're talking about. We also got David Pasternak at 25.
Yeah,
Can I
in
just say this? Can I
2000,
say something?
or whatever year they drafted him in.
Can I say something? If a team is picking 25 and a team at 12 takes their pick, and they, by that time, when they get to 25, if they haven't got another pick ready that's good and they're panicking still,
We
That's
also
something
don't
wrong
even
with
know
your
about
GM.
Dean yet, dude. Like honestly, it's been 1 year since, and you guys are ready to throw
And
him
he
in the
got
towel.
3
He
points
was
in college.
historically known to be a
Crap his
project. He was mentioned to be a project.
that's
And
true.
they took him, and he had comps to Tage Thompson. That is the literal comp to him, Alex.
Damn. If that's
I
a
know you guys
project-
got Matvey Michkov at like, what was it, 7, and then you're like foaming at the mouth. But like, dude, there
What does
are
Michkov have
hidden
to do
gems
with
late in
this?
the round.
Did-
but I'm
can
not
I
willing
say
to
something?
Throw
Did
in
you
the
see-
towel. 1 second. I'm not willing to throw in the towel yet on Dean Lederno because he played a full fucking season with a broken wrist and a broken hand. Are you psycho?
Yeah, no, that's
Claude
fair.
Giroux did that in 2012, and he ended up batting 10 points.
Not everybody is Claude Giroux.
Right, come
Get
on,
his
get him out of your
cock out
mouth.
of your mouth.
Get him out of your mouth.
Wanted to get him going.
Hey,
No,
Oh
Alex,
my God.
Alex, did you
Every
see?
time you floss, you must find Claude Giroux's pubic hair in your
It-
fucking teeth.
Oh yeah,
Language. We have children watching this.
pubic hair is not.
I'm
dirty.
arguing with a child.
Did you see Matthew Schaefer catch Matvey Michkov?
That
was
on the
nuts.
back skate. Let's be fair here. He was on the back skate.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden, no.
That's
But
Derek. He saw the play.
He
Don't-
was skating backwards.
don't just
But also,
John
Schaefer's an
Sweeney,
incredible.
Schaefer-
Yeah, but you guys also you have to understand Schaefer's an incredible skater.
We've also
Incredible
gotten so
skater.
far off
Mitch
field.
Cock, that's not his game, is skating. We all know that.
All right, we're not talking about Mitch. We're gonna. I'm dialing it back. I'm bringing it back to Boston for the last.
Yes, because
piece
it's
of
the
it.
Boston show. Otherwise,
It's not. I didn't even want it to go this far, but here we go.
All right.
We're talking.
Bob-
Poor guy's been trying to change the subject. We're just bringing.
I've been trying to like go to Buffalo, and then Alex
let's
like,
go
get
to
done.
Buffalo,
Sweeney
Cal.
sucks
All I want to
balls.
talk about is the fucking Sabres. Why don't you let me talk about the Sabres?
Yeah, I want to read
to
the
the
Sabres.
Sabres
I
then.
know my team's gonna suck, and I'm happy about it. Tank for McKenna. I'm
all right.
probably the only Bruins fan that's just like tank, so you can get a decent pick.
There we go.
Everyone
We're
else
gonna
is
end
like,
on
come
that
on,
one for
man.
Boston. Tank says
They can get
Cam.
McKenna if they can somehow win the lottery.
I
and get
know, he's
McKenna,
already
and you
labeled
run
for
a line of
Pittsburgh.
McKenna, Higgins, and fucking Pasternak.
Please, everyone knows McKenna's going to Pittsburgh. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's talk about the Buffalo Sabres.
All right, let's
You
move
know,
on.
the NHL 's
McKenna going to Pittsburgh. If Crosby doesn't ask for a trade and he stays there, that could screw that up.
Oh yeah, but like
Yeah,
look what
that's
happened this
fine.
year where
That's a
fucking,
topic for
the
another
Islanders
discussion
won
where
the
McKenna's
draft and the
gonna
fucking
go.
Utah came in
All
second.
right, let's go
I'm
on to the
just saying.
Sabres.
Okay, the
Rick, we're moving on
Buffalo
to the Sabres.
Okay,
The,
Sabres.
what do we
Who
call
wants
them?
to lead off with this butt fucking
What
team
do you
that's a
call them? The
bottom feeder?
mafia? What do you call them?
We call them the Pagula Piss
Don't you
Project.
dare call him
I'm
a
trying to
don't
think
you
of
dare
another
call
word
him a
with T.
TO.
Didn't he have a word for that? He had a saying.
Nope,
for
do not
Buffalo.
don't you dare call them a TO.
What's a TO? Toronto? That's a dirty word here.
Think
but I don't
about
know.
the abbreviation, Alex, what you normally call them. Don't you dare do it.
Oh,
Oh my God, Jesus, dude.
I wasn't going to say it, but now you made
Well,
me
now you
remind
guys
me.
are baiting him into saying
I
it,
won't
though.
say it. I won't say they're a terrorist organization.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for.
I honestly wasn't going to say that until you mentioned it. Thank you.
Listen, you can't hate what they did. I mean, you can.
Hey,
If you're a
The-
fan
the
of theirs,
only-
you can.
Listen, the only thing I like that they did was that they added Michael Kessel ring. That's about it.
That's pretty much all they did, though.
They got rid of JJ Paterka. I
Oh, yeah,
honestly
but-
don't know what their
Yeah,
four.
Kessler.
This is why I said though that 6, 7, and 8 can go any way between Buffalo, Detroit, and Boston because Buffalo, their goaltending is Their defense should be solid, but their forward group, who knows what's going to happen?
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen, their goaltending though, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he's got
Ukko-Pekka
potential,
longest
but
lasting
I
ever.
mean, I didn't think he was that bad like before last season. So maybe he has a bounce back. That could be a big thing for them.
I don't know. They have some crazy, scary stats though, Rick. Like they've scored a lot of goals. Like they've been in the top, I think, 10 in goals scored, but they also are in the top 5 in goals against. So they just can't figure it out.
True.
So
I
their
thought-
goaltending.
I thought Levi wasn't like he kind of let them down. I don't even know. Did they trade him? No. Levi's
No,
still
no.
there, right? They got
still there.
another goalie there, didn't they? A different backup for him?
Alex Lyon.
Oh, it's Lyon.
That's so much
Okay,
better.
that's not making anybody
Hey,
confident.
Georgiev.
And Georgiev they got as well? Oh, yeah, they're goaltending.
Oh, so they're just going to throw shit at a wall and see.
Yeah.
what sticks.
and see what sticks because that's what that is.
That's how desperate they are. They have, what is it, 14, 15 years since they've been in the playoffs?
Yeah,
Something like
I think it's
ridiculous like that.
15.
Them and the New York Jets are in a competition for who can have the longest playoff
Who's
run.
the longest bag of suck?
Yeah.
The
The
biggest
Jets
bag
and
of
the
suck.
Sabres are just in a tug of war.
I don't know,
Listen,
but-
I don't even know how to describe it. Their defense is solid. The Kesselring, Owen Power, Byram, Dahlin. It's a sick top 4. And
Yeah.
even then, your bottom pair is pretty nuts too. What, Connor Timmins and somebody else?
Are
Like,
you-
Matthias Samuelsson.
Did
yeah,
your
it's pretty fucking good.
did your balls get like twisted in your underwear all of a sudden?
I do when I talk about any fucking New York team,
'Cause
especially
that
the
was-
Buffalo Sabres.
That was high pitched, man. My ears hurt. Just want to let you
Good,
know.
you're welcome.
So here's my take on the Sabres. I think the left winger core is a little weak. Zach Benson's going to be relied on to take a big step this year. He didn't quite impress as much as I thought he was going to last year. But he was only 20. He's got plenty of time to progress. don't throw a towel on him. He had 75 games, 10
traded.
goals, 18 assists, 28 points last year after 30 in his rookie year. Josh Norris is going to be relied on to be the number one center. And the thing we all know about Josh Norris is his motherfucker can ever stay healthy.
He's not going to stay healthy. He's
He's
not.
the Kirby Doc of the Buffalo Sabres.
That would be big. But he's like a better version of Kirby Doc. Let's be honest.
Well, because Josh Norris will at least give you 20 games.
Yeah. You got
I
your
just have this to say. I just have this to say. Fuck you guys.
Come on. It's always good to give you a little barb there. But you got your better wingers. Tage Thompson is a superstar. Alex Tuck is a good scoring winger. Brian McLeod, I have to say, was arguably the best third-line center in hockey last year. He was excellent there. Jason Zucker is past his prime, but he's a decent bottom sixer at this stage. You can get away with him there. As Cam mentioned, the top four is excellent. Bo Byram, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power are all studs. Now you had Kesselring from Utah. But now you got question marks in net. Is UPL going to be ready? What are you going to get with Lyon and Georgiev? Which one's going to be the backup? It should be Lyon. Georgiev even sniffs the ice. It's a massive problem there. But, yeah, the Sabres, to me, this is a team that has to break through. You're now a decade and a half without a playoff appearance. You haven't made the playoffs since Obama's second year in office. Just let that sink in his first term. So, listen, push comes to shove. You gotta show me something. Like, this team has talent. They just can't put it together. So,
No, they keep trading their talent away. That's the problem. They traded away J.J. Petarka to get Kesselring.
Yeah,
and they got Josh Doan.
That is a big loss, for sure.
But then they got Josh Doan. Oh, cool. So your bottom six is decent. Fine. I'll give you that. Your bottom six is decent. I am actually worried about your top six. I am. I'm worried about Buffalo's top six.
The left wing spot's a hole.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they go out and target.
Yeah.
Zaki could be a good addition for them too.
Stay healthy too. For their case, he better, because that's
unlikely.
If they lose Norris, that's I don't know. Listen, I like what Ryan McLeod did last year, but I don't know how I'd feel with him being in your top six instantly. Maybe it's a short-term thing, but if it's like 3 months, good luck.
I'm also not a big Lindy Ruff guy.
Oh, I've never been. You know that.
Not a big.
That wasn't a good hire. That was not a good hire.
Yeah.
They brought him back.
Why?
What?
Why?
To bring that dinosaur back anyway? Like, no disrespect to Lindy Ruff, but it's like this guy the game has passed him by for about a decade now. He's going to be
Terry Pagula. Yeah. Terry Pagula.
And yet you're all like Quenneville guys. Same era, those two guys.
But much.
Quenneville has 3 cups. He and even before Chicago was a really good coach in St. Louis. Was a really good St. Louis team.
All right. I'm leaving with my tail between my legs now.
No, I challenge you, Rick. If Buffalo landed Quenneville over Lindy Ruff, I would actually have much better faith in the Buffalo Sabres than I do at present. Because at least Quenneville will tell the Bagulas to fuck off.
I'd be very upset because that means we'd have to see that fucker behind a bench more often than we do now.
Fuck yeah. That's your personal feelings on the guy. I could give a shit less about that. I care about what he produces on the ice as of right now. Because whatever that's done, that's said, it's over with.
Bit more than that.
I mean, the NHL, he's been, I don't want to say necessarily exonerated, but he's gone through the vetting process. He's back. I care about who he is now and what he's going to do and what he's going to produce. I don't care.
People are good people. And that's me. Okay, that's fine. That had what I had to say. So Buffalo, where are they going to finish? Because I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Oh man, I don't know, because you look at that team and there's so much talent. There's so much talent on this team, but like I've said, I think the biggest mistake they've made is they just haven't added enough veteran leadership onto this team, where it's like complement the young players with the right sort of veterans. If I think they finished 6th. I think they finished 6th.
Bingo.
Me too.
But who knows, though? But then again, honestly, could you say that you can't see them finishing 3rd? In a way, it's like if everything hits right for this team,
I could see them hitting anywhere between 3rd and 8th.
Yeah.
The
Honestly,
if,
yes.
like,
Agreed.
if
Agreed.
the if part
here.
for the if, because that if can you see them, whatever, that's carrying a lot of weight.
here,
Well,
here's the
no,
thing.
like, honestly, on paper, how is this team not good? Like Cam said, they have
Pagula.
2 studs on the back end. Okay. And honestly,
Sure.
like, although I think they lost a better player in the Kesselring trade, I think Kesselring actually solidifies that defense. So it actually makes it a little bit more like what's the word I'm looking for? Playable? I don't know. Anyway. So it's but the Josh Norris trade, I didn't like it just because of like the injury history with that kid. But like again, if he's
I think
100%
Dylan Cousins
healthy,
is the better player.
if he's 100% healthy, Norris is the better player. And like, Norris, I think, could actually hit like 80 to 90 points, 100% healthy, but he's never healthy.
See, I think Dylan Cousins has a higher ceiling than Josh Norris.
I don't honestly, I don't think so. I was just never honestly, personally, I'll admit I've said a thing. I think I've said I've never been the biggest Dylan Cousins fan. I think he could be like a really good 2, where I think Josh Norris can actually be a first line center in this league. But again, never healthy. Never. So, but if right now, just because I can't bet on Buffalo, I'm putting them 6. I'm sorry, but they're 6.
Honestly, I could see Buffalo end up anywhere between 3rd and relegated to the AHL, if we're being honest. But listen, this team, if I'm betting, I'm giving them a call and saying you have 3 years to make the playoffs. If not, we're bringing up whoever wins the Calder Cup to take your place next year, because enough's enough.
If they can't make the playoffs in 3 years, we got to move the team to a city that'll. I don't know.
Oh my God! No, in all seriousness, I got them 6th. They have the talent to make a push for the playoffs. They just need to put it together. And
they're just not beating out
coaching and management, and they don't have either of that right now. They've got the personnel. They just don't have the friggin' cojones up here.
Oh, I hope do you ever see somebody with cojones up there?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
You mean the brains? The brains in your skull, you numbnut. I don't think you have the cojones where they're supposed to be.
Well, they're up there. They're not supposed to be.
Yeah, right. His nuts are in his head.
I gotta word that better.
I agree with Eric.
Rick. Sorry, no, go, Cam, go.
Sorry, I'll make it quick. I agree with Eric and Alex. I have them at 6th, but I also have them at 8th. I don't have them at 7th. They're either 6th or they're 8th. That's it. I don't think they finished 7th. I think they're either
safe.
Say that again, Alex.
You have them at safe.
I do. But honestly, 6th. I would be impressed if they're an 8th again. I don't even know what to say. Get rid of the team. Sell it.
Because
I
look
want
at
them to
this
be
way.
successful.
In all honesty, and I'm trying to be like rational here. Talent wise, are they that much worse than the Montreal Canadiens? Honestly, if we're honest with each other, or do they have that much less talent than the Canadiens?
No.
You know, like the Canadiens have now with Noah Dobson, they have 2 studs on the back end. Okay, well, I raise you Dahlin and 1 power. Like,
but
okay,
here's the thing with Owen Power, though. I want to say this:
they don't have our talent. I'm sorry,
I'm going to defend Montreal here. I actually think Montreal has or is going to have the better defense. I think Caden Gooley's better. He's proven that he's better. Owen Power, I think, still has a lot to prove, and he was a former 1st overall pick. I still think he has a lot to prove there. I think Nick Suzuki is better than Josh Norris. I think Cole Caulfield is better than Zucker. I actually do think the talent in Montreal is better.
Zucker's a 3rd liner.
Or like Tage Thompson. I think there's I do.
Tage Thompson, back up on that.
I think Cole Caulfield is better than Tage Thompson.
Crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God, that's not.
How many points did Tage Thompson get last year?
Tage Thompson is a friggin' 2-way superstar.
Yeah, but he gets what, 70 points in the 70s? Well, Caulfield gets that.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. He had 72 points last year.
Yeah, 72 points. Caulfield had 70.
Tage Thompson,
comparable,
not far behind.
What I'm saying. I wasn't saying that they're better, like they're better than Montreal. I'm saying if you talent-wise, they're very comparable. But
Sure.
you have
Somewhat.
Montreal, who actually knows what they're doing, has a decent coach, and is getting them like, you know what I'm saying? It's
And
that's
our
what I mean, it's
goaltending
like,
is good.
yeah, but again, Ukko
Ah,
Papalukanen is not a bad goalie. He's
Listen,
really not.
in a vacuum, I'm taking UPL over Monty. In a vacuum, I will take UPL over Monty.
I don't know.
Not
Monty
much room to
impressed
make
me.
saves though if you're in a vacuum. You're kind of constricted in the vacuum, you know. So just
God,
saying.
he just makes you want to just.
Good thing I'm over here all alone and nobody
That
can punch
that
me.
would be a good debate, Cam. Who would you rather have, UPL or Monty? That is close. I think Monty.
You can't base it off of NHL numbers. That much I can tell you.
He does, but Monty had a really good year last year.
Yeah.
You have to give him that.
I don't
So,
doubt it. But Montreal is also just getting better as a whole as a team.
that is a much better comparable than the Caulfield Tage Thompson argument.
I don't know.
That's
I think Caulfield is going to. Yeah, I think Tage is what? He's 28. Yeah, he's going to be better than Tage. No question.
No, no question. He has to prove that he's going to be better.
I think. Yeah, he's going to be.
Tage Thompson has 244+ goal seasons under his belt.
Well, Caulfield will
Cool.
have one of those this year.
Yeah.
I hope
It's
so.
close, dude.
Otherwise, he's not going to be better. Tage
Okay, I
Thompson's
don't.
at
I don't just
94 points
measure
in
how good someone is
25.
just based off of goals. I look at the player as a whole. Like, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
don't
Tage
just.
Thompson's a better defensive winger as well. Like, come on, man.
Well, it depends on the type of player you want.
It
If I'm
doesn't
wanting,
depend. Like, that's not
Yeah.
even a debate, man.
I don't know.
Cole Caulfield's 24. Tage Thompson, when he was 25, put up 94 points.
Yeah,
Tage
maybe.
Thompson
But
still-
that could have been his career high. If he had
Yeah.
72 this past year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he
Cole
had 72
Caulfield has the
also
potential
missed
to reach
16.
100.
And then when he put up 94, he missed 4 games. Like, that's what I'm saying.
It's funny because we're also going to be talking about Montreal later, so I bet you this is going to be revisited in like 20 minutes. So this is going to definitely be revisited.
Cole
So
Caulfield,
I don't know.
that's debatable.
Buffalo's in 6th.
Buffalo's
Yeah, that's
Or-
where I have it as 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're unanimous in 6.
We're unanimous in 6th. Wow, that's our first one.
Yep.
Cool. Let's move on to Detroit. Who wants to lead off with
Iser
this? Also,
Cam.
Iser. Yep. I'm with it. Actually, you know
We
what?
gotta
With
let
that,
Alex.
Alex
go.
is. I am fully with Alex now. That is the Iser scam. I
Yeah.
have no fucking clue what they're doing.
No, it's just.
How long
he's
have I
got
been preaching it for?
it. You lead off, Alex. Go ahead.
All right, so let's go through what Detroit has here. So you brought back Patrick Kane. They did that this offseason, right? They extended him another year.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
so good, but he's so old.
You brought in John Gibson, so I give props there.
Mm.
But I don't know what they're doing on defense. Outside of Morris, outside of Sider, Travis Hamonic, why is he here at this
Edmondson?
stage? Is Ben Sherratt a first pairing defenseman?
No, not at this stage.
Edmondson?
No.
Definitely. If ever.
I see
Yeah.
Eric like foaming at the mouth. He just goes, "Oh, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to talk about their defense. I'm going to talk about who's coming up. I'm going to talk about these guys." Like I see Eric's like eyes bulging. He's like,
No,
"Let me at him."
I'm with Alex. I just think that they're fucking terrible.
And then Mason Appleton, this is your big free agent signing on offense. Dude
Great
barely
signing.
had 20 points last year. Like, what is Detroit doing? Like, Lucas Raymond, Alex DeBrincat, Dylan Larkin, all studs. Yes, I'll give them that.
Patty
But-
Kane's at least giving you something.
And Morris Sider,
What,
Sider
though?
is a top pairing defenseman. No argument there.
Yeah.
How much more are you going to get Patrick Kane playing at a half decent level before he falls off? Are you really going to
Casper,
rely
too.
on Andrew
Right.
Kopp, who is another fucking relic? Like,
That was a
I
bad
don't-
signing. I didn't like that. They signed him for $6 million, right? I didn't like that Andrew Kopp signing that they did.
I don't know what they're doing. Justin Hull, that's another one. What was that? Like, I don't get what the Red Wings are doing. They all this talk that I hear from Red Wings fans about their great prospect pool, and from what I've read, they do have a
It
good
is a good
prospect
prospect
pool.
pool. Yeah.
But
They got some players.
what is it going to show? This
It's
team's made the
mainly-
playoffs for 9 years.
It's mainly Pelika and what? I would say Evanson. Like those are
Nate
their
For the most
Danielson.
part, yeah, they have a few other decent players.
Yeah.
It's not just them, but
But I would
what is
but
this team to make the playoffs is my question.
but Alex, to
You've
your
been telling
point,
me about your great prospect pool for almost half a decade, and you had 1 year you came very close, and that was the same year we made a push. And guess what? The Washington Capitals ripped it out of your hands when we decided to pull the net with 2 minutes to go in attack.
Alex, I will
He
contest.
did that well. You played the thing, and then he carried on like nothing happened. That was
Yeah,
pretty
I know he did. I was so proud of him. Alex, the only thing I'm going to contest against you is that I think they have three good defensemen in Evanson, Sider, and Pelika, but they got to give Pelika a chance. That's my only problem. I think Eric will probably agree with me there. Like they're not giving him that opportunity. They're still developing him. But he's also young. So in the NHL, it takes a long time to develop defensemen. They probably don't start shining until 25, 27, in somewhere in between that range.
Oh, I agree with
And
that.
especially offensive defensemen.
Yeah. I liked bringing in Gibson because they solved one problem, but the team already had other problems. Like, can they score? Yeah, like they have Patty Kane, they got Larkin, they have Raymond, they have DeBrincat, and then like they just have a bunch of people who can shoot the puck. But ultimately, I'm just like, but what about on the back end, like on the defensive side of the puck? I don't think your defense is better than Boston's. I don't think it's better than Buffalo's. I don't think your goaltending is better than Boston's. I don't think it's better. I think it's maybe marginally better, if not equal to Buffalo's. I think they might, if it's going to depend on Larkin in that first line and what they do at the trade deadline. But honestly, I'm not convinced that Detroit is going to make the playoffs. Other people have them in like a very good 5th or 6th. I'm like, no,
They're not making the playoffs. They're going to finish 1 point ahead of Boston.
The Travis Hamonic contract just makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. Like, why did they bring him? What is Travis Hamonic at age 35 at this stage of his career, who is clearly washed? What does he bring you to that decor? Justin Hull was already there, and he's already an anchor. Like, I agree. Pelican needs a shot. I agree with you there. But no, you decide, let's bring in Travis Hamonic. Let's have him eat that up. When you already have 33-year-old Eric Gustafson and 34-year-old fucking Ben Sherratt. I don't get it. They make no sense.
No,
I think he's just trying to frustrate the fuck out of you, Alex. That's all. That's
well, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's successful actually.
If that's
Alex's nipples are going to be so hard when Yzerman gets fired.
Well, honestly, no. I think this is his last year. Like, if this team does not improve, I think he's getting fired. Honestly,
they don't make
and
a
he should
run.
because honestly, everything he's been doing the past few years does not make sense. Are we? If you're in a rebuild, why did you sign JT Compher? Why did you sign Cobb? Why did you sign Ben Sherratt? Why? And then you're like, well, we never get the picks, we get the high picks. Well, fuck, you just make your team just enough good not to finish bad. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then even when it's your pick, you take these swings. You're like, what the fuck is like? What is he doing? Anyway, like Nate Danielson should be in the lineup by now. He's not. Like, I don't know if he'll make the team this year. Who knows? We'll see. Marco Casper. You have a couple guys that didn't pan out yet. You picked Philip Zadina 6. He's a bust. Like, you look at their top 6. Yeah, their top 6 is decent with like Raymond and DeBrincat and Larkin and everything. But then you look at the bottom of your lineup and you're like, ugh. And then you look at the defense and you're like, ugh. So
then you're looking at the goaltending and you're like, okay.
Yeah, the goaltending, you're like, okay, well, at least they got Gibson. At least they improved their goal.
He's 31 or 32.
But again,
yeah, Don Gibson's 31, 32, I think, too. So like you got an age in Gibson.
Yeah, but for a goal,
again,
that's okay.
Just making your team good enough not to suck. Like,
hey, Eric, they're the 2010 Flyers. They're the 2010 decade Flyers. Congratulations, Red Wings. And guess what? The last 9 years of Detroit hockey has made us go, ugh.
Not convinced with Todd McClellan either. I don't think he's their coach.
And that's the thing is that every other team, I feel like every other team in the division actually got better. So it's like, but like, so what does he trade to? Oh, it's okay. We traded for John Gibson, so that's gonna solve our problem.
We also got rid of Jake Wallman for dirt. but that was
Idiots.
like before. You know.
Yeah, it was last year.
But just imagine this, like, because they paid to get rid of Wallman. They had Shane Gostisbehere that was there that actually had a really good season. But no, let's not re-sign him. Like, fuck off, Gostisbehere. and they traded Hronik for a first. So, like, you could have
Yeah, dude.
Edmondson, Wallman, Gostisbehere, and Hronik. That's a good fucking defense.
Do you think Kevin Adams and Yzerman get together and just chuckle about their jobs and be like, okay, but who can fuck up their team the best? Like, do you ever just wonder if that's what they do? It's like Yzerman's just like, I traded away Hronik for a first. And he just goes, oh yeah, watch this. I'm gonna trade away JJ Peterka for fucking Josh Stone and Kesselring. I'm gonna trade away Sam Reinhart so we can go win a cup. What the fuck? These two
Honestly,
definitely
guys,
troll their teams.
Steve Yzerman and Adams are the equivalent of this.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Not wrong.
Oh, bro.
Not wrong.
Telling you, I think Julian Breezeball was the fucking was the man behind it all in Tampa Bay. that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, it was all Julian Breezeball, and like Yzerman got the credit.
There's only one man that can come and save Detroit from this abysmal shit. Peter Cirelli.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't shock me.
He'll sign
No,
everybody to a
that's-
long-term
they
deal, give them no
fire
movement
Yzerman.
clauses, and then the team's dead for 20 years.
They fire friggin' Yzerman and they just say, how can we make this work? And you just hear background music here. Here I come to save the day.
Okay. Hold on. Real quick, though. Could you imagine if both Yzerman and Adams, because those two definitely have to be in the hot seat this season. There's no question about it. They have to be. I mean, Buffalo's ready to go nuclear, and Detroit fans are probably going to throw more than just dead squid on the ice. So I would find it hilarious if they did a GM swap. And then you're back at it with like, holy shit, here we go again.
Here we go
Oh, my
again.
God.
Another 9 years for the Sabres. No playoffs.
No.
All right.
And look, man, after the comments that Larkin made at the end of the season,
Oh, I don't think
if
he wants
Detroit struggles again this year, he's demanding a trade. Like, I gotta think, right? He's demanding a trade, right? Like, why the fuck would you stay?
Yeah. And there will be plenty of teams bidding for him. No question.
Larkin, for sure.
Yeah. No
All right.
question about it.
It is time to move on to the best team that we haven't talked about yet in all the division talk.
We didn't even discuss where Detroit was going to finish. You
I'm sorry.
You're
That
just
was
licking your chops.
that was a
at the opportunity
premature.
to talk about
that
the
was-
Canadians.
Yeah, that was a premature ejaculation. I'm sorry.
Eighth,
Yeah.
Ejection.
8.
eighth.
I have him 7th. 1 point
Ahead
above
of
Boston.
Bruins. Yeah, fucking blow me. I have him 8th.
And,
Or
and
sixth.
actually, my actual prediction is 7th, and I want to say 18 points ahead of Boston. My actual prediction on a video. Cam hates me now.
Really
that
think
sounds bad.
way too high of Detroit. Holy crap.
So I had him.
Have you
That
looked
was
at
bad.
that actual roster?
Yeah, no, that was my early prediction video, so got it wrong, obviously.
Yeah, it's garbage.
I didn't get Boston wrong, but I got Detroit wrong.
Well, guess what? You might have just got him wrong again.
All right, let's move on to the best team that we're ever going to talk about. It's time for
We're not talking
Montreal.
about the Utah Mammoth.
It's time to talk about Montreal. Okay, now it's time for you guys to laugh at me because I'm going to lead off this.
Oh, good.
I
Wait, Rick, before you get going, how delusional are you going to be?
Well, that's where you're going to laugh. That's why you're going to
Oh, I
laugh.
cannot wait.
First in the division. I see it.
Take
No,
take
okay,
note.
I
I
just
was
did-
very realistic and said 7th for the Boston Bruins.
I just
This
did
motherfucker's going to say first in the division.
I
Watch.
just did a season preview. Now, in my early prediction, I had them, I want to say 4th.
I stand corrected.
Now I have them as either going to finish 2nd or 3rd in the division.
Oh, never mind. He's
They're
smoking.
gonna finish with with 101 points, tied with Ottawa, but one more win than Ottawa. That's how I have them. Now, why do I have them that way? This is a goddamn good team. You got a top line. The number one line is one of, if not going to be the best in the league next year. But they were a top line in the league last year. You've got Monty, who you guys just sort of laughed at.
That belongs to
Monty
Tampa.
finished number
Pencil,
5 and
point,
goals
and Cooch.
expected above average or whatever that is. He is going to finish top 10 in the league this year. I think he's going to be the number 10 goalie in the league this year. He's underrated. We have a defense that is going to be hard to play against.
Yeah.
And we got a group of forwards that, I'm sorry, but every line is good. I don't care how you want to break them down. They're good for where they're going to play. And I think this is a team that's going to challenge people's thoughts of what they're going to be. I've seen guys have them last in the league, in the division, with like way less points than last year. And I wonder, you say, what have I been smoking? What the hell have they been smoking?
You have them at second.
I said second or third. Either way, I'm good with either way. But it's not just me. There's some really smart hockey people have them up there.
He sounds like Becky Lynch right now.
Are you done stating your case, or
I got to take their dick out of my mouth? Okay. I thought you guys would find that funny. All right, now that's what I got to say. I think it's a really solid team.
All right, before anyone else gets going,
we're going to finish there. They could finish fourth,
guys.
But
I have some breaking news. While Rick was giving that entire spiel, Kirby Dach got injured again.
Tying the skate, I heard. Kirby Dach is going to play every game.
Oh, yeah, now I know you're on the freaking green grass of horror.
That's my hot take. That's actually my hot take in my video. It's a hot take. And I realize how ridiculous it probably is, but it's just a hot take. He's
going to play all 82
Yeah, he probably
games.
won't, but it was a hot take, okay?
He's definitely going to watch all 82 games.
Before I started talking, I said, prepare to laugh at me. I was right.
All right.
Montreal.
Let me go.
Who wants to?
I didn't say it was done.
Hang on. Ageist argument.
He did like 20 minutes on Boston. I didn't say no. I'm good.
It's because I had arguments and. Listen, this could go 20 minutes too because I have like 5.
Demidov. I didn't finish. Demidov.
Okay, here we go.
70 points. Calder Trophy.
Okay, I'm not gonna
make Michkov look like a little boy.
Until Michkov puts up 90 this year.
Let's get ready to rumble.
No, but seriously, I do think Demidov's going to have a hell of a season, and I am predicting 70 points, but I maybe not that high, but he's going to win the Calder.
65.
I mean, I'd be good with 65.
58. I'll say 58.
Actually, no, he'll be playing on the second line predominantly, right? Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm at 60 to 65.
I'll put him at 58. I'll say this about Montreal. The big issue, as we all know, this is the second line center hole. Kirby Dach, I don't care. He's not a second line center at this stage. Patrick Laine, I'm curious to see where he goes. As Rick mentioned, I don't know if he mentioned it off air or if it was Flyer, but he's Montreal's whipping boy right now, or seems to be.
He was, yeah.
He can score, and that is it. So I'm curious to see what Patrick Laine provides. Zach Bolduc was a very nice underrated addition to this team. I liked him a lot in St. Louis. So I think he should be the second line left winger over Laine. I think
it might work that way. I think it might end up
provides one thing and one thing only, and is borderline useless everywhere else.
They might trade Laine. I wouldn't put it past
deadline time. I would think you might.
Could be.
Nick Suzuki is a proven for sure top 15, maybe top 10 center in the league. Cole Caulfield had a nice step forward this year. Safkowski was about the same, at least statistically. You probably want to see him push for 60 points next year at this stage.
Yeah, this year I think he pushes that. He's
I
gonna.
actually I want to add to that, Alex. That is one thing on my list that I have that Slav needs to take the next step and score more than 50. He's been consistent. He's been scoring like 50 to 52 points a season, but as a first line left wing, former first
Right.
overall pick, you get. Sorry, oh, wasn't he playing on the left?
I think he's on the
right.
right.
The left wing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
think
he's on the right.
okay. Suck it, Alex.
No, Caulfield's the right wing, I believe.
Daily faceoff has it vice versa.
Okay, well, don't trust daily faceoff. Like sometimes their lines are wrong.
Well, anyway.
But he was definitely playing on the left because Caulfield.
No,
was on
you're right. No. Alex is right. I'm picturing them how they line up. Slav's the right winger.
I thought
They put, they put Caulfield on the left. That's interesting. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's former first overall pick. He's pretty young, but 50 to 51 points. He needs to, I think, take the next step, at least break. He needs to break 60 this year. He needs to break 60.
He will.
No fans or butts.
He will.
I actually need him to. I want him to break 70, but I'll settle for 60.
Yeah.
And then looking at the rest of the team, obviously Ivan Demidov is a blue chip prospect. Enough said. Different style of player than Michkov. He's more of a playmaking puck handler versus where Michkov is a high IQ goal scorer. So I'm curious to see how his game.
I'm curious about something. Why would Demidov not get the high IQ part? Like
no, I'm not saying Demidov.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I'm not saying he's a dummy.
I'm being fucking picky because he's my guy.
I'm saying Michkov's
You two are cute.
top aspects of his game are goal scoring and hockey IQ.
Yeah, I get it.
If you pick two for Demidov, it's probably his playmaking and his puck handling.
Yeah, that's okay. In that sense, that's fair.
Look, I think it's going to be interesting. I think Demidov, it's his rookie season, so we're going to have to see where that goes. So it could either be boom or bust for this kid. I don't think it's going to be I don't mean by bust, Rick, where I mean he's going to be a bad player.
Don't worry.
I think it's going to either be he's going to be an okay average guy, what you would expect out of a rookie year, or he's going to go off and go nuts. That'll be very telling. Honestly, I think he should see some time on the first line, but
not this year. No. You can't break up Suzuki, Slav, and Coffee. You can't. It's a number. It's a top line in the league. You'll see at the end of the year if I'm wrong.
I mean, I would just give him a look on it. That's all I'm saying. Especially if he's not.
I think situationally though, when they need a goal and they're down a goal and they got to tie the game, you might see that happen. But I don't think on a regular basis.
But I could see in the fact that Montreal in this year also has like Demidov could win the Calder. I could see that.
I mean, I don't think the rookie class is as strong this year as it was last year, for sure.
No, it definitely isn't. I don't think. It's what? So it's Schaefer?
Assuming Schaefer makes the Isles, him, Gabe Perreault, Ryan Leonard, obviously Demidov.
Keep on Jimmy Snuggerud, in St. Louis?
Snuggerud, yes.
Snuggerud, yep, good call.
Not sold on him.
And the one and only Alex Bump.
Yeah,
I saw somebody
he'll get one.
Sorry, I saw somebody
called their vote.
Somebody made a video, top 5 rookies, whatever, this year. Snuggerud was the number 1 guy. Demidov was not on the list.
Okay, Demidov wasn't on the list.
That's I know. It's like ridiculous.
Demidov will be at least, at worst, a finalist as long as he stays healthy.
Look, I'll agree with that. At worst, he'll be a finalist, but I think he'll win. But I'll agree with you, Alex.
Look, I think Montreal is heading in the right direction. I think Lane Hudson's going to be a stud, if not already. But I don't think Lane Hudson's going to have the year he had last year. Look, teams are going to keep him honest. They now know what he is capable of. Teams in this league learn. So now he's going to have, people on his back. Thankfully, Noah Dobson's going to be there to help him out. But I don't think Lane Hudson's is going to pop off for as many points as he did last year. I think teams are definitely going to keep him in respect.
Can I tell you why I disagree with that?
No, not yet, because I'm not done.
Okay.
I think your defense is it's getting there. It's pretty solid. The only thing I have with Montreal, or the only two things, is that they're young. and they're predominantly young, so they need some little bit, not a whole lot of veteran present, just a smidgen.
They have
And
it.
then I'm talking about just a smidgen, and they need a better 2C than Kirby Duck. You get that? Then I think then you can make your argument for that. I think they're second or third place, but I don't see them as second or third, not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna on Lane Hudson. I'm gonna argue back this. Yes, the league learned a little bit about Lane Hudson, but what you're not taking into account is this kid spent all summer two-a-day practices, 5 days a week, to get better and to do different things. And I think what he's going to do is, you think you know me, watch this move, and he's going to be different, and he's going to be better. And so I think he's going to be a little bit better than last year.
That's fine. I still think a bulk of his points will come on the power play.
Yeah, I mean,
I think teams will
fault.
swarm him very quickly.
Not with Caden Gooley as his partner. I don't think so.
Well, right now, I mean, they have it's not him and Gooley. It's him.
It
and
is him and
Dobson.
Gooley. It's
Oh,
it's
wow.
Matheson. I got it right. It's Matheson, Dobson. It's already been said. It's probably going to be through the whole season. Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Gooley.
I'm not saying that they're going to go and
I like that
tackle
too.
Lane Hudson. I'm saying that they're going to swarm him so that way he can't make a lot of educated decisions with the puck. So that's going to be also big learning things.
Yeah,
for
but have
Lane.
you heard what some of the defensemen or some of the forwards and stuff say about him? That you don't know where he's going to go. You can't read where he's going to go.
I just think you're going to see a lot of NHL vet. Listen, I'm not saying he's going to have a bad year. I don't think anyone's going to say Lane
No,
Hudson.
I know you're not.
He's not going to be the same Calder. It's going to be a sophomore slump. It happens. I
don't think
but
so,
it's not going to be a big slump.
I don't think it's going to be, but yeah, I mean, I get your point, but I don't think it's going to be. And I don't think they can. I don't think they might think they've got a book on him.
Yeah,
but
Rick,
my
can you speed this up?
thing, I don't think they
Montreal
do.
Canadian show.
I don't think they have a book on him. It's not the Montreal Canadian show. I know how long we've been doing this. Eric, you haven't gotten anything in here.
Well, look, when it comes to the Canadians, I think their defense is solid. Do I think Hudson's gonna take a step back this year? Honestly, I don't. I think it's gonna probably be more or less the same, or maybe a little, but maybe improves.
A little bit.
And the addition of Noah Dobson is huge for them. And look, Montembeault, solid goalie. Like, that's actually a guy that's proven me wrong, because I remember when he was with Florida, he was fucking terrible.
Yeah, when he was here first, he was horrible at first, but
and I'm like, man, what's Montreal doing to this guy? And you know what? Like, he shut me up because he's really proven to be a pretty good goalie. Again, my issue with the Canadians is their forward group right now. And look, yes, their first line is incredible with Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slafkovsky. And they are one of the best lines in the NHL. Honestly, I'll say it. I think they are a really top line in the league. The thing is that I find after that, yes, you have Demidov, but it gets very thin after that. Kirby Dach is a huge question mark. Can he stay healthy? Can he be a 2C?
Yep.
Then you have Alex Newhook as your 3C. I've never been the biggest Alex Newhook fan.
I'm not sure that's going to be accurate.
But let's say he is. Right now.
Newhook is good.
No, he's not.
Not as a center. He's a winger.
Not as a center, no. But Newhook is just a good player. But I think he'll definitely have
He's
third.
a third liner at best.
But okay, but if he is a winger, then who's your 3C after that? Then is it Evans?
That's the thing. Montreal is
Evans.
Center.
Evans is a good center, but is he a full-time 3C? I think of him more as a 4.
Yeah, no, I don't think Evans is going to be the 3C. I'm blanking on. I'm telling you, I'm fucking blanking on who it is. There's more than just
Newhook. Fabian Jacki?
You know what? Florian Jacki. Actually, I didn't know this till last night. He does play center.
Yeah, Jacki plays center. What's his name? I don't know if he's ready. What's his name? Owen Beck?
Beck had a really good.
You literally just said that.
Beck could be the guy. That's the guy I'm blanking on. Beck could be the guy this year that wins that job.
But again, he's a rookie though.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
You don't.
It's question marks, but every team has question marks. But every team has them. We've established that here, right? So, but I agree with you.
100%. But for me personally, it's center is a big deal for me. And when you
without a
have
doubt.
huge question marks after your first line center, it's tough. And
No,
that's why I cannot put Montreal in like the top 2 spots in the division.
Yeah, I
Just
get
'cause
it.
I'm not sure. Personally, I think they battle with Toronto and for 4-5. Personally, that's
Not 4 or
Right
5,
on.
but for 3 and 4, that could be the battle. I'll
No,
say this, you guys. I am a little bit biased, without a doubt. I'll admit
No.
that. But I really believe in this team. So yeah, I have them a little higher than maybe some people. It is my bias. I'm going to
little
tell you
higher.
for sure. But I do believe what I'm saying. So at least that.
Yeah, look, I could see if everything goes well for Montreal. You tell
Yeah.
me if everything goes well, everything hits. Kirby Doc is a legit 2. Line
Scores
A,
70
like
points.
he's back to his former self, and
Yeah.
Demidov is a 70-point player. Then I have no issues putting Montreal in the 2 spot, none. But I just can't do it because for
I
me
get
these are
that.
massive question marks.
Now,
Give
like
me
I'm
a first
saying,
round pick for Zaka, and then we'll call it even.
I get that from everybody why you're not obviously as high on the Habs as I am. But remember, I follow them closer than you guys. So like you all for your teams, I think that's why I have them there and you guys wouldn't. But I think it's fair. There's a lot of questions on the Habs.
Well, because it's an
no doubt.
Well,
There's no doubt.
it's just like, Rick, it's an objective view. Like, I'm being realistic
Fair
with
enough.
Boston. I said 7th, and I know it's not gonna. That's it. They could
8th.
go 8th, but it could be. But I think it's gonna more than likely be 7th. I'm with Eric. I actually have them at 4 or 5, but I don't have them interchanging with Toronto. I have them interchanging with Ottawa.
Yeah, I
I'm
think they're
high
going to
on Ottawa.
finish. They're Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto. They're going to finish like I don't know in which order, but I think you're right. I think Toronto has a pretty big fall off in points. They're going to.
I think Toronto still is good enough to make it 3rd.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but I think 4th for Toronto personally.
It's because look at it this way, right? You have Tampa Bay and you have Florida also.
Tampa, but here's the thing with Florida. Florida's also gonna be without Matty Tkachuk. I mean, we'll get into this next week when we actually get into Florida, Tampa, Toronto, and Ottawa. But I just Florida's gonna be banged up a bit, and if they suffer another injury, they're in trouble. I think they're gonna be in trouble. But that we'll get there when we get there. But I do think Montreal is a solid pick for 4th and 5th. I think they'll be a playoff team. I still think 5 teams come out of the Atlantic. So no matter which way you spin it, Rick, whether you're 3rd, 4th, or 5th, I mean, if you're 3rd, you're obviously getting in a playoff spot. But whether you're 4th or 5th, you're getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I know. I think Montreal's a playoff spot, and I agree with you. I think 5 might come out of Atlantic again, and then that way, anybody saying, "Well, Tampa," blah, blah, well, they'd all be there. But I'm confident in Montreal this year. Maybe a little overconfident, I'll admit, but I am.
I would definitely say overconfident.
No, I'll admit that it's a little bit of bias. I mean, there's no doubt. I'm honest with myself, but I really do believe in the team, and I think they've done a really solid job building what's there now, and it's going to be good.
Does anyone here actually not believe that Montreal is building very, very well? I don't think you'll find anyone here that disagrees with the fact that they're building it, but I think I'm with Eric 100%. It's your 2C.
Yeah,
and
I
then
agree.
It's your 3C.
I'd be a center spot behind Suzuki as a whole.
You could put me in an insane asylum.
No, Jake Evans as a 4th line center is pretty good.
Okay, so 2 and 3C.
It's the middle 6. It's the middle 6 centers on that team that worry me.
Yeah.
If I disagreed with that, put me in the insane asylum because you're right. There's question marks there. It's just I believe in what the guys that are going to be in those spots. I believe in this team.
But Montreal's going to trade for Crosby and Pavel Zacha.
Yeah, it's not
a problem.
I read an article today about that too again, and no, I mean Crosby's not coming here. Crosby's not going anywhere.
I don't think.
And if you're all listening, go to don'tpuckwithmedia.com and read my blog because I actually picked Crosby going to the Canadians in my Penguins article. So
look,
he's not going anywhere.
I think Montreal likely goes after Pavel Zacha and Ryan O'Reilly. I think those are the 2 likely targets.
Yeah. And Ryan O'Reilly was had him in my video, but I didn't put Zacha when I did the video, but I had him in my list on my paperwork, and I just didn't put him in there.
Yep, the 3 centers I see you going after because I don't think you're going to land Mason McTavish, but I think it's going to be Jared McCann, Pavel Zacha or Ryan O'Reilly, or it
Yeah.
could be a combination of the two as well. You have the assets. You have the assets to get them.
Yep.
So at this point in Montreal's stage, you're no longer worried about draft capital. It's your window is opening very quickly. So now I think is the time for you guys to get going. But I still don't think you are a second place team yet. I think you're still fourth and fifth because I still think Tampa Bay is better than you. I still think Florida, just from the coaching standpoint alone, from John Cooper and Paul Maurice, they're amazing coaches. I'm not saying Marty St. Louis is not. I think those are the top two teams in the Atlantic right now, and then Toronto is going to be declining very, very rapidly. But we'll get to those wonderful teams next week.
I'll just say Montreal's not going to finish fifth. I don't think they're that low. They're going to finish higher than that. But yeah,
I think it could be a toss up between them and Ottawa, fourth and fifth. That's where I think Eric seems to think it's between Toronto and
Toronto's
Montreal.
not finishing third.
Alex doesn't give a flying fuck because the Flyers aren't in the division, so it's fine.
It's just because
I just haven't been able to get a word in.
Thank God for that.
All right. Right. That was pretty good. We did most of the show on that. So
no, I haven't even made my pick. Shut up, Rick. I'm not done yet. Sit.
I'm sorry.
Good dog.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Who's a good boy?
To say because no one let me speak at all. I think Montreal ends fifth. I do think. I'm not saying they're going the wrong direction, but I think it's kind of like you get a little worse before you take the major step of getting better. And we've seen that with some of these teams that are on the come. Look at New Jersey, for example. Remember the big step they took 2 years ago, and then last year. 3 years ago, and then 2 years ago, New Jersey kind of fell back to earth a little bit before joining back into the playoffs again and looking like a solidified good team again. I could see Montreal kind of going that route. I do think they make the playoffs. I have them as the first. Then they couldn't be fifth.
It's fifth. They're the second wild.
If they're fifth, you know what? I will keep them fourth, but I will keep them in the playoffs now that I'm thinking about it. But I don't think they're going to look as complete as last year. There's going to be some bumps in the road. It's not going to be a team that you look at that you feel like met the expectations of last year. I think is a better way to put it.
Oh God.
So
that's fair.
I can see that. I still think they'll technically make the playoffs. I think they'll go one and done again in the playoffs, but I do think they will make playoffs.
No, we're going to win the first round.
Was that the most bipolar response you've ever heard? Because you just goes, maybe they are, maybe they're not. They're worse. They're better. They're fourth. They're fifth. I think they're borderline on the playoffs. I was like, holy shit, Alex, are they in or are they out?
Fourth, but they're not going to look as smooth as they were last year. I think it's a way to put it.
I was.
They're going to make playoffs, but they might not.
Buddy, I was like
first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. They're going to be somewhere there.
Because I remember
they're definitely going to be between 1 and 8.
Yeah, definitely.
They're definitely somewhere in there.
They're fourth. I'm going to put them fourth, but it's not as convinced. It's not as smooth as last year. Is the best way I could put it.
Which is weird because they finished fifth last year.
It doesn't matter. I think Ottawa falls off hard.
And I don't know how you think last year was smooth.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know how last year was smooth.
I don't agree with that. That's
Get ready for that when we come up with them next week.
Oh, I can't wait. Eric and I are going to get together. We're going to come up with a strategy on how we're going to fucking bend you.
Me and Alex are going to have a great argument next week.
Oh, God.
I'm super high on Ottawa. Like fucking Alex is super low on Ottawa.
Well, real quick, everyone has Montreal fourth or fifth, except for Rick, who seems to have them at second or third. Real quick, let's actually just discuss some of the polls that we ran last week before we move on to the no tax, no problem. And I'll tell you what that means in a minute. But last week on the show, we had we played Would You Rather, and it was between a franchise goaltender, a franchise forward, or a franchise defenseman. And we ran a poll on Twitter. And you, the fans, voted in 75%, an overwhelming amount, that you all would pick a franchise forward. Do you guys want to know what the second place thing was?
Was it goalie?
I decided to be funny and add a franchise and bony driver to the poll. And The other 25% voted for the franchise Zamboni driver.
I'd be up for a franchise Zamboni driver.
And I ran another poll, and just because it was around the time preseason was starting, and so I asked the fans which player out of the top 3 draft picks picked this season, which player starts and stays in the NHL, so probably plays at least half the season in the NHL, between Schaefer, Misa, none of them, or Frendell. And to no surprise, Schaefer got 48% that he would start and stay. Misa is second with 32%. It's kind of insulting to Frondell, but 12% voted none of them actually start and stay.
10% voted.
Yeah, and then the math was wrong. That was a typo. It was 12%. I had to go double check it. And then 8% believe Frondell.
Can I say why that's all stupid? Misa's in college, so he ain't starting.
No, he signed.
Misa signed his ELC.
He signed his ELC. He's not going to college.
Oh, he changed his mind?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I take it all back. I didn't know that.
Good call.
I didn't know that. And but didn't Frondell say he wanted to go back to Sweden?
I think he is. I think he's staying in Europe for one more year.
I don't think Frondell's ready anyway.
He probably needs at least one more year.
So what I was gonna say doesn't mean anything because Misa.
You guys here? Fuck you. Yeah, fucking Montreal's gonna end underneath.
Wah, 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 wah.
All right, Mom and Dad, settle down. Don't make me get the broom.
Shut up, Alex. Mommy and Daddy are talking. All right, and with that, guys, we're gonna move on to the next topic. All right, for the no tax, no problem. So there is speculation in the league that no tax states have an advantage when it comes to signing NHL players, in the sense that because of the no income tax, NHL players won't need to get paid as much in states such as Washington, Texas, Nevada, Florida, and Tennessee, which have the Kraken, the Predators, Dallas. Dallas. Yeah, right. The Stars, the Golden Knights, the Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. But does that really matter? Is it really an advantage? What do you guys think? Don't all shout at once. Fuck.
I was. Damn, you have this thing where you don't let me speak. I was in. So here's the thing. If you look back with a lot of these teams, what?
Nothing. Just the way you said it. Just the way you said it. I'm sorry, Alex, for not letting you speak.
Can we mute him? In fact, you're on timeout. With that being said, the tax thing has only been something that has been done really as an argument over the last few years, where these teams who are starting to be good down south with no tax, like your Floridas, your Tampas, your Dallases, your Vegases of the world, not really going to include Nashville because they kind of suck right now, only recently have been getting the arguments of the no tax boost. But back in the day, if you look, the no tax thing kind of existed 15-ish years ago, and these teams weren't seeing that level of success. I think it's more that the outlook on a lot of these players have changed and want to go down south, not just for the no tax, but the environment of the teams too, because the players' mindset has changed from 15, 20 years ago. Because if you ask a random player today, just in general, where would you rather play hockey? We'll give an example. Winnipeg or Tampa Bay? Probably going to pick Tampa just because it's a nicer climate and you make more money. But if you ask these players as 15 years ago, you're not probably going to get the same level of argument because their mindset's completely different. The money within the NHL in general was completely different. And just the style and outlook each player had was a little different as well. So I don't know if I can say if the tax is an unfair advantage, but the way players are looking at this is a lot different now as well.
think it's marginal. There is some benefit, but it's marginal. What people don't understand is that players are actually taxed per game depending on where they are playing. So if they're playing in Florida, they don't get taxed for that game. Like the income that they made playing that game or being present for that game is not taxed. But then if you go play in Boston or if you go play in California, you are taxed for that game. So there is a marginal advantage because 41 of your home games, that's where, if you're in a tax state, that's where that money comes from. So I think the money is marginal. That's why you'll hear oftentimes like, a $14 million contract is closer to a $12 million contract in a no tax state. That's where I think people don't understand. And it's a weird tax law.
I'll say this. Nate Thompson, you guys know who Nate Thompson was, right? Former NHLer.
Yeah, it's
I saw an interview with him on this where he said, and he's an NHLer, and he said 10 out of 10 players, if they have a choice between a no tax state and a tax state, will take the no tax state. Or he said 9 out of 10 maybe. But he says if I'm playing and I have a choice, and I don't have a preference, but I have a choice between two teams, one's no tax and one's tax, I'm going to no tax.
Well, yeah, but like
that, and every NHL player will do the same. That's what he said.
But that's also like, I think what he also meant by that is like when you're choosing between, like, let's say your final decision, it's like, oh well, I either go to Vegas or I go to, like, let's say Philly. Like, well, you know what, Vegas, but like you look at it this way too, right? Like Nashville is the no tax state. It's in a no tax state, I should say, and they're fucking awful.
Pick Nashville
So
or
no one's gonna pick Nashville over, like, let's say
Edmonton.
Yeah, exactly. And like Seattle's fucking terrible right now.
Okay, but let me ask you something. What is it we're trying to answer here?
No, but
are you going there to save money?
No,
yes,
is there an advantage? Do clubs have an inherent advantage?
Well, just because they're not good doesn't mean there's no advantage in attracting players, though, to your team.
No, but this is what I'm trying to say is where I think it's an advantage is you look at what Florida's doing now. It's an advantage for these cities to keep good teams together.
True.
I think that's the advantage, because you don't really get that advantage when you're trying to build your team up. You don't, because at the end of the day, no one wants to. If you're a terrible team, no one wants to. Not that no one wants to go to your team, but like at the end of the day, all these players are competitive. Players want to win. So, like I said, like Nashville right now or Seattle, no one really. If you're a good player wanting to go to a good situation where you think you can win, you're not going to sign with those teams,
right?
But like, and where I think Tampa, in a way, a bit got screwed with, even though they're a no tax state. But you look at it when they were winning their cups. They couldn't keep their team together, but it's also because there was a flat at that point. The cap was flat.
Yeah, that's true.
The cap wasn't going up, so they couldn't keep Coleman, they couldn't keep Gord, they couldn't keep those guys that helped them win the cups because it was a flat cap. But now you look at how Florida's taking advantage. Florida was able to sign these guys. Yes, they were able to give them good contracts because they were able to pay them a little less. But at the same time, like, I'm sorry, but like Bennett, in my opinion, didn't take like a pay cut, because he was, if someone was willing to offer more than $8 million somewhere else, like, I'm sorry, like, I get he's great in the playoffs and everything, but he's not worth that. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but someone probably would have offered him 10.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, even Marchand was able to get his cap hit that low because they gave him 6 years.
Yeah, that's the other piece to it, though, Eric, is that it was the term. And even Marchand came out and said it wasn't even a money issue with Boston. It was the term. It was the length of the contract.
Right, but usually players that age don't get that long of term.
Yeah.
The only one
Florida doesn't care. They won 2 straight.
The only one out of those 3 that I think really the no tax helped was Ekblad. Because Ekblad, I think on the open market, someone would have shot him $8 or $9 million. I personally don't think it would have been a good idea, but someone would have done it. So I think he's really the one. And again, but the cap jumped $8 million. So they had that money to work with also. So look, at the end of the day, is it an advantage? Yeah, it is a bit of an advantage, but I think it's blown way out of proportion.
It's not an unfair advantage.
Right.
I think is what. Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Now, if it was all 82 games that they played, if they got taxed in their home state, that would be an unfair advantage. But the
Yes.
fact that half the games they play, they're getting taxed wherever they play that game,
Yep.
it takes away a huge chunk of that advantage.
Rick, why don't you throw up the graphics so that everyone can
Yeah.
actually see what the tax rates are per state? You're gonna shit.
Somebody want to read them out?
This is a list of alphabetical order, starting with the U.S. states and then the Canadian provinces. California is 13.3%, and they have the Ducks, the Kings, and the Sharks. Now, it's important to note that some of these states have a bracketing approach. So with certain states, you have to make over a certain value. So like I just picked anything over $1 million. I went with that tax bracket. And then if there was something higher than 8 or 9, then I adjusted it accordingly. Colorado, 4.4%. Not bad. That's the Avalanche. Washington, D.C., 10.75%. They have the Caps. Florida, we know, has nothing, and they have the Panthers and the Lightning. Chicago, Illinois, Blackhawks, 4.95%. Massachusetts is 5%, and that's the Bruins. Minnesota is 9.85%. They have the Wild. The St. Louis Blues from Missouri, 4.7%. Nevada, as we've mentioned, doesn't have one. Golden Knights. New Jersey is 10.75%. They have the Devils. New York has 2. It's 9.65% if you make greater than 1 million. And then it's 10.3% if you make more than 5 million. They have the Rangers, Islanders, and Sabres. North Carolina, 4.25% with the Hurricanes. Ohio for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 3.5%. Pennsylvania, 3.07%. Flyers and Penguins are subject to that. Both Tennessee and Texas do not have taxes. I'm only saying that because they're right next to each other, and they have the Preds and Stars respectively. Utah is a 4.55%. They have the Mammoth. Washington State does not. They have the Kraken. And then here's the kicker. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Canada. Holy shit.
Yeah.
In Alberta, where the Flames and Edmonton are, 15%. British Columbia for Vancouver, 20.5%. Manitoba, which has Winnipeg, 17.4%. Ontario, which has the Senators and the Leafs, 13.16%. Quebec.
Fucking Quebec.
Fucking Quebec.
Quebec is
Always us.
25.75%.
Yep.
That those play a quarter of that player's salary.
Yep.
So the mere fact that you guys are getting Suzuki and a bunch of your other players for under 8 million is nuts.
That's where the fact that Montreal has all that tradition and all that winning comes into play, that becomes attractive somewhat as well. And so thank God for that. Otherwise, 25.75%, that's crazy. And who the fuck would want to come here?
Also, I just want to say one quick thing about also, you have to realize that NHL players are also paid in American dollars.
Yeah.
And that in Canada, because our like you're basically paying Canadian. So technically everything they pay is like a 30% discount.
Well, see, that could actually be an advantage in that, yeah, you're coming here, you're getting paid in American while their dollar is still up like that. And but you're paying out all your expenses are in Canadian while you're here.
You're buying your property in Canadian.
I never thought of that, but that is a little bit of a way to get back on those taxes. Yeah,
exactly. It's not a big thing, but just it's still, because like, look, you could probably get a house, like if you're still gonna pay a house, let's say $1 million in the States, or you're gonna pay $1 million here. Well, you're actually paying $700,000. You're not paying. So
maybe that's why I know in Montreal a lot of the players stayed here all summer, and maybe there's an advantage for them a little bit in doing that, because you're still spending out Canadian while you're making American. Yeah, I never thought of that. That's a good point.
And also, just quick one, because one of the changes in the CBAs is actually to help alleviate a little bit with this whole no tax thing. It's the with the contracts with the bonuses, because when you let's say because before, right, in the old system, like with the CBA now, like the old CBA, when you got paid, like let's say your bonuses were all paid out at like the first, let's say the 1st of July, right?
Yeah.
And but then your yearly salary was always like the base salary. So let's say 750,000. So like Cam was saying, is like when you go to like all these other places, these 41 other cities where you have to pay tax, you're paying tax on the 750. You're not paying tax on your bonus, because your bonus, you pay the tax of where you are.
Right. Because when they pay it to you, you're at home. Yeah.
Exactly. And they don't count that in your game day. So that's why that's one of the reasons I heard is why they did that, was they dropped, I think it's like 60% now. So that now you can only get paid out 60%. So at least you have they're gonna tax you a little bit more, like,
and
I don't know.
That might be why,
but at least it helped alleviate a little bit.
That might be why so many players now, it's big signing bonuses and then a smaller base salary. That makes a lot of sense. Why?
Yeah, because like let's say like a $10 million player was making $9.25 million on July 1st, paying let's say in Florida, paying zero state tax on that.
That makes sense. That's a good way to help alleviate their tax break. And then places like here, it's not as unattractive to come here.
Exactly.
Yeah. That makes sense. I didn't know why. It seemed like everybody's getting signing bonuses and then these smaller salaries, and I didn't actually know why. Now I know why. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Sorry for my creaky chair, but my chair is broken.
No, I think it's fine. No, I think it's ultimately, I don't think it's marginal. It's marginal. I don't think it's going to make or break whether or not a team makes the playoffs. I don't think it's going to make or break anything else.
Clearly, it hasn't been like that's the reason why a team is winning.
It's not an issue.
Yeah, that's
people will blow it up as if it is one. I know people are like now like, great, okay, we solved the the LTIR usage, but now what about this no tax thing? And I'm just like, it appears that way because 4 out of the last 5 Stanley Cup champions were from Florida, or 4 of the last 6.
Well, 5 of the lot because Las Vegas won.
Yeah, sorry. 5 of the last 6 were from no tax states. Yeah. So it's like I get how it appears that way, but also it's
coincidence. Coincidences actually do happen sometimes.
Yeah, correlation.
It's just that these teams are really good at the same time.
And it's a coincidence. Yeah. That's all it is.
No one was beating Vegas, I think, in 2023.
No, Vegas was stacked.
Yeah, and no one was going to beat. I don't think Florida this year. They were too good.
Yeah,
no, but like look
at the Bruins should have beat Vegas in 2023 if they didn't defecate all over themselves in the first round.
Okay, well, whatever.
No, but like
historic regular season.
Yeah, like California is one of the most taxed states, right? California is like one of the highest taxed states.
Yeah.
And they won 2 cups. No one was, no one's saying.
Yeah, I don't. I think if that's the point,
mindset of the player of today. Like a lot of players, I do wonder, and I really hope this isn't the case, but I do wonder if NHL players are slowly starting to get the mindset that NBA players have, where they all want to go to particular destinations to try to win. I really hope that's not the case. I don't think it, like I said, and that's where I say I don't think it has to do more with the no tax, but the fact that those teams happen to be good right now, and they want to go to X destinations to try to win. Because if Florida or Tampa or Dallas starts to suck, they're not going to bring these guys in for cheap like that. They're not.
Yeah, but also, Alex, just to counter that, like most oftentimes after a team wins the Stanley Cup, they do try to retain, I would say, at least 90% of that roster. So it's not unusual that, like, Ekblad or Bennett and Marchand would be like, let's run it back because they are that good. Like, you know what I mean? They know they're that good.
Plus, they want a three-peat. They all want, so that's got to be some motivation to come back because you can't three-peat if you leave. You can't be part of it.
And it's all about winning the trophy at the end of the day. Like,
and part of history. Winning 3 cups in a row is a big thing because it doesn't happen very much. So
it
might be part of that.
And who knows? Like they've also have a lot of mileage on them. Like Bobrovsky is not going to be able to play at that level. Like
That's a key
Barkov's
issue.
not going to be able to continuously play at that level. Like that's a lot of hockey that weighs on you. Like your summers are extremely short.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
especially
catches
guys like
up to you.
Marchand. You're
It
getting
catches
older.
up to you at some point when you win that much and go that deep in the playoffs.
And Matty Tkachuk hasn't really been healthy over the last 2 years. So like he's had to fight through a lot. So at what point does it catch up to him and he finally gets significantly hurt to the point where he needs to miss a year? So it's I hope it doesn't turn that way where players are just like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there just because they're good at winning cups, because then that's not fair to the fans. That's not fair to fans either. Like, you know what I mean? You like, if David Pastrnak at the end of the contract was like, oh, fuck you guys, give me $17 million or I'm going to go take a $6 million deal somewhere else. I mean, I'm being egregious when I say $6 million, but imagine like what that says about you and your character. Like, sign with us, but if you want to go and win a cup, we will respect this. What we did with Marchand. I think there needs to be that level of respect between players and organization, and obviously the player with the fan base that has also supported them, assuming they have supported them.
But honestly, I don't really see that happening that much in hockey though. Like we've seen it the past few years. Like look at our free agency periods. Like guys don't hit free agency anymore. They just all stay in their fucking cities. So
Yeah.
I just don't see that being a big issue.
So to Alex's point, I don't think that's what's happening. I just think that when it comes down to the trade deadline, that's when the players are going to say, well, I want to fucking win. So if you're going to trade me somewhere that has a high probability.
By the way, about what Eric said,
I'm just saying, it just feels like it's been like that more the last 2 years versus like back in the day. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I hope I'm wrong.
I wanted to say what Eric said about guys moving, but the cap was stuck in, and it didn't go up. So I think that had a lot to do with why guys couldn't really move and had to kind of stay where they are. So we'll see now that the cap's going up if we see more movement.
Yeah, but even before, like pre-COVID, like when the cap was continuously starting from like 2005 when they introduced the cap until let's say COVID, you didn't see I remember pre lockout, you had guys moving all over the place. Like JR is going to a new team, Fedorov is going here. Like big names would move constantly. But I feel like since the salary cap, we just don't see that anymore. I don't know. It's
inherent, I guess, in the cap.
I don't know. I feel like it's more. I don't know if it's just hockey's changed where just a lot players are just more loyal to their teams. I don't know. But I guess we'll see. Look, I think this off season here is gonna be a big example of to prove our points right now, because you have guys like Kaprizov that are eventually this off season it's gonna be what's his face, Jack Eichel and McDavid, all these guys.
Kaprizov if he doesn't sign.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, he'll have one more year. Yeah,
I think he's the most likely big name to depart because it seems like something ain't right there with him in Minnesota.
Yeah, but we'll see this next off season. We'll see what happens with these guys.
Yeah, with the cap now going up, we're going to see if that changes I think it will. I think it will change. They'll see more movement because now teams. I mean, there's money out there, so guys can do that. Try to find more money. You couldn't really do that with the cap staying where it was.
I can't wait till Kaprizov goes to Vegas with the rest of them.
No,
they can't afford him.
They'll pull some bullshit out of their ass to Vegas.
Only team that can afford Kaprizov are teams that are not contenders or up
as
there
long as
because they don't have the money.
That seems like the team that has had the biggest fire about it.
Chicago. What are they gonna do? They can't afford him. So what? They're gonna they lose Artemi Panarin and then they bring in fucking Kaprizov. Ooh, okay, cool. So now you have an injury-prone player.
They're gonna swap. They're gonna swap Panarin and Kaprizov.
Sorry, but Panarin is only making what, 11?
Yeah.
So
you got to shell out 5 million more.
That's another 5 million. That's a lot more still yet.
Yeah, sorry. That Shesterkin contract, Barry, is gonna ruin you.
That's
Yeah.
why you don't pay goalies.
That you don't pay them that. We learned that. Even I love Carey Price, but we learned you don't give them that kind of money.
Nope, that was boo boo.
Doesn't make sense. All right.
Guys, final
everybody-
thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. My final thought, I'm kind of hungry, so I'm looking forward to go make supper.
Jesus.
My final thought is hockey begins in 2 weeks, and I am looking forward to it. I'll keep it nice, short, and simple.
Yes, sir. Hockey's back. We'll have a lot more to talk about.
Mhm.
Although we couldn't do much
I'm sick
longer.
of this off-season talk. I'm just ready to talk about the real shit now.
Yeah, it does get to you after a while. After a few months
Wow.
of nothing like in season to talk about, it's about time we're back. So I agree with Alex. That's my final thought. Go Abs, go. How's that?
Eric, any final
Same.
thoughts? Same. Just same.
Just want to watch real hockey.
end it.
Like, I'm getting like antsy now. There. Like,
Fucking in it.
I
All right, guys.
get
Well,
the shakes.
All right, guys. Well, that'll do it for episode 83 of the Pucking Around podcast. We are 17 away from the big one hundo.
Yep.
We'll probably do a big celebration for that as we approach it.
Yeah.
And as we record it, or we might even do it live. But anyway,
Few
up
months.
until then, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow on all of our social media. Don't forget to check out don'tpuckwithmedia.com for all of our blogs. And leave some comments, especially Rick, who thinks Montreal Canadiens are going to end up at second in the Atlantic.
And do that over at Talkin' Habs. Go over to Talkin' Habs and check out my channel as well.
Glaze those Canadians. But until
And,
next time, next
probably
week,
have
we are going. But next week we're going to wrap up the Atlantic, and then we're going to talk a little bit about preseason, then maybe do some other shit. But up until then, have a good week, guys. Peace out.
Ciao.
Ciao, everybody.
Oh.
Thanks for being here.
Promise that you'll catch me.